You bloody sharkies, hey? Fair dinkum. You'll end up in a tin of tuna by the end of this weekend, huh?
I swear, if you say Chatty Townsville once, I'm coming over there.
We're going to send you guys Brokeback Mountain. That's where we're sending you, Cowboys.
How old is that bloody Brokeback Mountain inside, huh? Come on, Kate, give it to him.
Oh, please. We'll give it to it on the weekend.
Howdy everyone, it's Sam. I hope you're doing really well. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider liking the content and subscribing to the channel. And if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. Two of the biggest surprise packets are going head to head this Saturday night, and I'm so excited and grateful to have these three champions joining me to preview the contest. Dan and Terry of the Rugby League Outlaws are with me. And along with that, Kate, a regular Rugby League Outlaw herself. Links are in the description box below. Starting with you, Terry. The last time that we spoke, I hosted both of you gentlemen. You were dealing with a bloody broken leg. Have you recovered, mate?
Yeah, I'm out of the boot. I've been out of the boot for about 2 weeks now, so we're good.
Yo, man. And Dan, how are you doing yourself, bro?
Mate, all four limbs work well. That's all I can ask. Thank you so much.
And Kate, you're back again, 3 times the charm. How are you doing, Kate?
I'm well. Thank you very much for having me. It's exciting. Week 1 of finals. Can't wait.
Oh, it's so exciting. And also thank you to everyone that's in the live chat right now commenting. We'll get to your questions in due course as well. There's a lot to get through, and we'll go into the preview in the next couple of minutes, but I just want to get a couple of questions off my chest. Starting with you first, Dan, mate. Suburban home ground advantage. Are you in agreement of it? What's your opinion of it, bro?
Absolutely love it. You earn it, you get it. As simple as all this talk all week, Parramatta trying to ambush and take the game to the big stadium. You finish first, you host the game. Same with Cronulla. I don't care if it's in front of 15 people, 1,500, 15,000 or 100,000. You earn the game, you play there. Week 3, we'll talk about going elsewhere.
Of course. And Terry, are you in agreement with Dan or what, bro?
Yeah, look, I think regardless, we were going to play at a small stadium. We're either playing at Shark Park or Townsville. So, you know, we earned the right to have you guys down here, and it just means we don't have to fly up there.
And Kate, what about you? Do you reckon that the Sharkies should have shifted her out to Allianz, or they're entitled to keep it at Shark Park?
No, I mean, look, I tend to agree. A home advantage is absolutely crucial. You know, sometimes the NRL like to step in and put their big footprint on things like this. How many does Shark Park hold?
Well, at the moment, we're capped at, they've given us 12.5 for this game.
Yeah, right. So is that capacity 12.5?
Yeah, with the stadiums under construction at the moment.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like a finals game is probably worth more than 12,500 because there will be Sharkies fans who have missed out on tickets there as well. But, you know, it is what it is. So, yeah, I mean, and it's true. I mean, you know, when you do finish in those spots, you know, it should be up to the club what they want to do with that, I think. So if the choice is to play it at home, good on you. Play at home, I would.
All right, I'm going to throw like a little bit of a curveball at you, right? All right, so I'm fine with them having it at Shark Park. They finished second. That's okay. I still think if they took it out to Allianz, it would have gotten at least 25,000 anyway, and I think they would have made their money back. As a Cowboys supporter living interstate, though, I get that it's probably going to be more difficult for me. But to wake up to Dan's tweet telling me that Cowboys tickets are $95 is, look, it's justified because it's not at Allianz. It's got to be pumped up. They've got to make their money somewhere. But to wake up to $95 was like copping a kick to the face. Fair income. But we live with it. We roll on with it. Now, also, another quick question, starting with you this time, please, Kate. North Queensland Cowboys, just a really quick review, very quick reaction and summary to what's been a terrific 2020-22 season. Kate, how can you summarize this?
Absolutely unreal. I mean, no one expected us to be anywhere near the top. We were the cellar dwellers, we were the wooden spooners. So, top 8 was going to be a miracle, apparently. So to actually make a podium finish this year has been incredible. The team has clearly bought into whatever Toddy Payton is selling up there. Got some really young, exciting players, and it's been fantastic. I hope the ride continues for a little bit longer. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, and Dan, what about yourself? Where did you have Cowboys at the start of the year? And are you surprised or not? What have you?
Look, I had them 4, so I was only 1 off. No, Terry and I both had them 16 undisputed. We argued everywhere from 2 through to 15.
Yeah.
1 to 16, simple, no discussion. And the Cowboys were 16th. To say they've blown us away is a huge understatement. So congrats. Look, straight sets is where you're headed in the semis, but that is still big wins. We're proud. We're happy. As Sharks fan, we like to think of you guys as little brother. So, it's good to see.
And got bloody nothing in common with bloody you lot down at the Shire, and we're going to show even more bloody venom this weekend, mate. Now, just my quick reaction to it is, through bias eyes, you can say, I had them inside the top 8. I believed in the young crop of gentlemen that were coming through. I just needed a little bit more out of Scott Drinkwater, and that's Kate's absolute gem. That's her man. And he's absolutely delivered in spades. And yeah, they've absolutely exceeded all expectations in every way, man. So, and going into the Cronulla side, for me, starting with me with the Cronulla Sharks, man, I had them inside the top 8, just scraping in. The reason why I didn't have them in the top 4 is just I thought Nico Hines, obviously a little bit, wasn't proven in the halfback position as such. Maybe combinations were too fresh to really get gelling to the point where they would be in a premiership contention. I thought maybe 23 is when the year would come around. Terry, what's your reaction to that? And did you have them inside the top 8 or top 4?
I didn't have Cronulla inside the top 4. I had Cronulla at 8th. Dan had Cronulla at 7th at the beginning of the year. And as you said, it was more about the uncertainty of Nico Hines, a rookie coach. The whole club got stripped last year. We still had a lot of the players coming back, but we stripped back our coaching staff. We've got a new strength and conditioning staff, new physios. We got a new dietitian. We had new board members. So everything inside the club was brand new. And then you have Fitz. You've got a guy who was a fullback for the Storm, who's won a premiership without playing a minute as a utility, and he's thrown in at your halfback. And Dan and I at the beginning of the year said, he had to be our 5'8". So, look, they completely exceeded our expectations. The board made a huge call last year on which way Cronulla was going to go. And they're quoted, Dino Mezzatesta is quoted as saying that this club should be a top 4 club every year. And he's done it. So fair play. If you'd asked me at the beginning of the year if I'd be 2 wins behind the Panthers going into the semi-finals, I would have bit your hand off.
And that's obviously the sentiment is the same with you, Dan.
Very much agreed. Just to add to what Terry said, which was, articulate and perfect as always. Look, Matt Moylan's hamstrings were an absolute, they were a meme this time last year. We're all joking that he'd be lucky to play 5 games. I mean, he's played, I think he missed 3 or 4 games all year. And he's been arguably our second best. And I would argue our best player for the past month and a half. So, all the crap grief we've copped over the last year and a half with Moylan, playing very few minutes. People forget how good he was in 2018. I mean, we're seeing probably a better, not as quick, but a better Moylan now. So, Kennedy, the forwards, we said we're a big forward short. I mean, Royce Hunt's absolutely laughed in our face. Andrew Fafita's had a good giggle at our expense too. We wrote him off. Well, Terry did, not me. But, Look, there were, I was seventh. I was excited. Seventh was going to do, but as it kept going, you just waiting for that bubble to burst. But as you said, mate, 2023 was supposed to be our season. Maybe we get in a season early. Who knows? But so far, so good.
Yeah, dude. And Kate, what were your expectations of the Cronulla Sharks coming into 2022?
I think that anytime I ever watched Nico Hines play, I just wanted to see more of him. So the second, he's the second that, his name was attributed to the Sharks, for me, their stocks just went through the roof because he is someone that puts bums on seats. I knew he was going to be great. It's happened sooner than what everyone thought. And the combination with Matty Moylan has been really fantastic. So, I'm really terrible at picking positions on the ladder. But yeah, I mean, there and thereabouts, top 8, I would have said at the start of the year, simply adding Nico Hines to the team, I think, because I just felt like he was just like on the verge, of you only ever just got to see little snippets of him. But when you did see him, I just always thought, can I please see more minutes in this kid? And he's as good as what we thought he could be with 80 minutes every week. So he's exciting.
Yeah, and there's a certain stat that he has topped at the end of the regular season that I really want to talk about in the next couple of seconds. But let's get into the season. Let's get into the preview proper now, guys. So this Saturday night from 7:50 p.m., PointsBet Stadium is the venue. Cronulla Sutherland Sharks hosting the North Queensland Cowboys. And just on sportsbet.com.au, the Sharkies are at approximately $1.70 odd favourites to the North Queensland Cowboys, $2.15 outsiders. I don't think that's too bad of odds for the Cowboys. Dan, starting with you, please, man. On the left-hand side, can you please take us through the team list that was announced by Craig Fitzgibbon this afternoon?
Absolutely. The fit again, Will Kennedy returns. On the wing, Connor Tracy in the form winger of the competition, Renato Mulatalo. Jesse Ramian and Sifa Talakai in the centres. We'll talk about him at length. Moylan and Hines, of course, the halves. Toby Rudolph's back again, which can only be great news, with Royce Hunt joining him in the front row. Terry's favourite player, Blake Brayley, in the 9, with Britton Nakora, Wade Graham, and the always incredible and super experienced Dal Finucane back in the 13.
Mr. Terry, mate, can you please take us through the right-hand column?
Yeah, on the interchange bench, T. Wilton, Cam McInnes, Braden Hamlin-Urelli, and Andrew Fafita. I think it's arguably our strongest bench that we've put together all year. Strongest team we've put together, apart from Sione Katoa. And reserves, 18th man, Lachlan Miller, Aiden Tolman, Matty Kavalu, Jesse Colhern, and Luke Metcalf.
Thank you, gents. And Kate, starting with you, please, just on the left-hand column, 1 down through to 13, please.
Sure. My favourite, Scotty Drinkwater, in fullback, Kyle Felt, Val Holmes, Peter Hiku, Murray Taulungi. On the wing, Tommy Dearden. He's good to go at 6. Chatty Townsville. What are you going to do about it?
Yes, Kate, continue. Yes.
Jordan McLean, Reese Robson, who has probably been, I think, best on field for us this year. Ruben Cotter, Luciano Leilua, hasn't he become a fast fan favourite up in North Queensland? Jeremiah Nanai, and the big man himself, Jason Tamalolo. He won the Paul Bowman medal for the North Queensland Cowboys the other night. That's his 6th. Jonathan Thurston only ever won 4, so that's the sort of season JT's having.
Absolutely ridiculous. On the interchange bench, Hamiso Tabuai Fido, Tom Gilbert, Cohen Hess, Griffin named 18th man is Jermaine Tanoa Brown, with Tom Chester as 19, Jake Granville at 20, Brendan Elliott and Ben Hampton round out 21 and 22. Thank you, guys. Now, these two clubs met earlier this season in the origin section of the season. It was a victory to the Sharkies up in Townsville. Scoreline, correct me if I'm wrong, 26 points to 12 was the final scoreline. And just going through some of the stats, the possession was 51-49 to the Cowboys. So they had a little bit more possession, but they were a bit worse in the completion rates there, 73 to 75%. So they were very even. Kick return meters is something that I want to just pop up just for a second. 188 to the Sharks, 108 to the Cowboys. So right there and then we got to improve on their kick return meters, especially if Kennedy is coming back this weekend. The dummy passes, I don't know if this is a glitch on NRL.com, but it says dummy passes, 47 dummy passes from the Cowboys to the Sharks 8. I don't know if that's a stitch up or a glitch. That's a bit of a weird stat to me. Missed tackles were 45 each. They need to improve that this time round. Effectiveness, pretty much the same. Cowboys gave away a few many penalties in this contest. And also, Jesse Ramian gave Hamiso Tapuafado an absolute friggin' bath that night. But Jesse Ramian missed 8 tackles himself in that contest. Also, in this contest, the players that did not play for the Sharks, Talakai and Nakora. Moving on to the Cowboys that did not play in this game, that lost just and controversially so. Yes, I will stick with that opinion as well. Holmes, Taulungi, Dearden, McLean, Nanai, and Ruben Cotter did not play in the game against the Cronulla Sharks earlier on this season. And that's pretty much it. Besides that, the Sharks forward pack made much more meters. About four players made over 100 meters in the forward pack for the Sharkies. The Cowboys only had about 2 to 3 players that made 100 meters in that forward pack for the Sharkies. Terry, man, starting with you, bro. The interchange bench, we were sort of stuck on the interchange bench there. How do you rate your interchange up against the Cowboys? And I'll bring up the team list again, man.
Yeah, look, our interchange bench, as I said, it's as strong as it's been. Hamlin Ueli's an international. Andrew Fafita, former international. Cam McInnes was in the Origin camp this year, and I still reckon Teague Wilton will be playing in the Origin arena in the next 1 to 2 years. So I was having a look at the 2 team lists before, and I can't really separate anything in the 1 to 13, but it's our interchange bench that I think is our absolute strength. And it has been. We've won 11 of our last 12 games, and where you really see that there's no drop-off with Cronulla is when we're taking players off and putting our freshies on. And you're talking about, bringing off Dale Finucane and then throwing on Cam McInnes to continue cutting you in half, or, taking off Toby Rudolph and bringing on a New Zealand international. So it's it's one area that Cronulla has really improved, because a few years ago you were like, geez, I hope all our players can play 80 minutes so these scabs don't have to come off the bench. But it's the other way around now. I can't wait for our bench to get involved in the game.
Yeah, dude, I do think the interchange bench for the Sharks is just about the best in the comp. That's probably maybe too much, but they are so good, man. It is a really, really skilled, talented interchange bench. Did you share the same opinion, Dan, on your club?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, all the talk during the week was, would we play 4 forwards or would Lockie Miller grab a bench spot? Look, I think we've picked horses for courses. There's a fair few decent forwards playing for your lot, so I think we're going to fight fire with fire. Yeah, look, as Terry said, it's as close to full strength as we can get, or we can hope to be at this time of year.
And just on Lockie Miller, excuse me, Kate, I'll just ask these gentlemen another question. Lockie Miller, are you disappointed that he's not there? Would you prefer him to be there instead of William Kennedy, who's coming back from an injury? Starting with you, Dan.
Well, this is what we argued last night at length. I don't know. I mean, Will Kennedy's the premier fullback of the two. I don't think there's any doubt. His ball playing ability is, a 9.5 out of 10, where Miller's, with all due respect, probably 4 to 5. But I mean, Lockie Miller, you blink and he's gone. And, with the greatest respect to the rest of the Sharks side, we don't have anyone like that. I mean, he's probably your hammer, if that makes sense.
I was going to say, it sounds like you're talking about Scotty and Hammer there.
Yeah, so they've both got good. I think our completion rate the last few weeks has been diabolical. Luke, delete him, block him from the chat, please.
What?
Troll, well-known troll, just block and delete. No, great, Luke. He's a good mate of mine. I love the Luke. Yeah, look, it depends what we need. But as I was going back to for Luke, really interrupted me. Our completion rate's been discussing, and a lot of that is based on the fact that Kennedy controls so much of that left to right and then right to left swing. So I think we've lacked that weapon the last few weeks. So I think he had to pick Kennedy, but sitting on the fence, I wouldn't have been too disappointed if Lockie was running out either.
Yeah, man. And Terry, your opinion, bro?
Similar echoes to Dan. Like, Will Kennedy was our player of the year last year. He started the season really well, had a bit of a dip in form, then got injured. And, Cade Dykes came in, then he got injured, and Lockie Miller hasn't let anyone down. If there's one thing that you really need in the NRL finals, it's just that blistering speed. And Miller scored a try on the weekend where if Kennedy goes through the same gap, we still score, but Ronaldo scores it. But Miller just hit that gap and scored.
Yeah.
Do I feel hard done by? Do I feel hard done by for Lockie Miller? Absolutely. You know, he's been. You go back through our man of the match polls, he's been top 3 for the last 4 weeks. But at the same time, you know, the club's invested a lot in Will Kennedy since he was a 16-year-old, and he's our fullback. So you roll with it either way. You've got to back Fitz. Like, he's got us to second. He knows what he's doing. So, you know, you live and die by it.
Yep. And the reason why I want to start talking about the interchange benches for both these sides is that you go over to the Cowboys and Kate, Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow coming off the bench in jersey number 14. I'll start first, Kate, and then we'll go on to you. Hammer, I don't think the game plan has quite been revealed yet. I don't think we've seen the best of Hammer. I think it's been saved up for this weekend, for this final series. I really think we need to see the best of Hammer this weekend to justify why he has been selected so many times on the interchange bench. What's your opinion of the Cowboys bench and Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow in 2022, and what do you reckon happens with him this weekend, Kate?
Yeah, it's a hard one. I think he's definitely paid his dues sitting on the sideline, but Scott Drinkwater has just been so good and the team lineup has been so good that there is nowhere to put him at the moment. So he really needs to take his opportunities when he gets them. So we will have to wait and see what Toddy Payton has planned for this final series. You know, someone will what we have seen is that someone comes off at the with 20 minutes to go and Hammer comes on to try and make an impact. He is not the same sort of ball playing fullback that Scotty Drinkwater is, and that has been the revelation for us this year through the spines. So yeah, I don't have any answers. You know, the thing when you have a player like Hammer and they're sitting on the bench and they're so close to being part of the starting team, I think it just goes to show what the quality is up there at the moment, that someone like Hammer can't get a start anywhere and he's waiting just in the wings. You know, when Tommy Dearden went off because he injured, you know, his very important boy bits and couldn't play that week, you know, he was rewarded. He was rewarded that week. And I think that, you know, with getting on, and I think that was Toddy Payton saying thanks for sitting on the sidelines and doing your best for the team. But I think having him there pushes them all harder every week for them to keep their spot. I mean, Scott Drinkwater has had to play a phenomenal season to be able to keep that fullback position. And it's having people like Hammer there, and it's the depth as well. So when you have like the Sharkies do now, everyone is pushing each other and they've all bought into the same thing, whether it's you're playing 20 minutes, whether you're playing 80 minutes, it's to get everyone across the line for that premiership or that finals, whatever it is, you know, the goal that you're working towards. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know how long you can keep someone like Hammer for 20 minutes. I don't know who's going to come looking for him or where he's going to end up. I'd love him to stay at the Cowboys. I'm just not sure how long you can hang on to someone like that.
Yeah, I was just racking through my mind about showing you the interchange, and I'll bring her up again. So coming off the interchange bench, got Gilbert, Hess, and Neem, but who's Hammer going to come on for? Is Leilua going to get a rest? Is Cotter going to come up for a little bit? So who knows? And that, I guess that's all part of the hype about this weekend is, are we going to see the actual game plan finally in its full effect this weekend for Hamaso Tabuai-Fidow? Now, I got to bring up a controversial, and I want to start with Terry. Yeah, so go ahead, Terry.
Say, about Hammer, mate, like there's an obvious solution. Last time Chad Townsend played in a 2-versus-3 game, he played that bad, he got hooked. So you probably find Scott Drinkwater will go to halfback and Hammer will go on the bench.
Can I just ask, do you guys get paid every time you say his name? Because there must be something going on. You're obsessed.
That'd be great.
That would be great.
Bugger.
we said we'll give you our halfback, and we want to drink water. So it got to the point where you said no, and we still said, "Well, on your way, anyway." So.
I'm so glad you did.
Yeah, well, let's get into it. I'll put my opinion in the fire for a sec. Let's get into it. Two of the best buys of 2022 are the halfbacks for both of these sides. Chad Townsend and Nico Hines are going head to head this weekend, and Matt Moylan has been amazing. He's had a renaissance of sorts, man, this season. And then Tom Dearden, good God, throw the whole freaking bank at that bloke. Please. The halves battle is supremely interesting. Terry, man, what's your opinion on your halves going up against Chad Townsend and Tom Dearden, bro?
Well, I mean, Tom Dearden's turned himself into an Origin player, and I said it on Outlaws last night. He's going to be in the Origin arena for years to come. He's, leaving Brisbane was the best thing that he ever did. He had a bit of a rough run for you guys last year, but full credit to Todd Payton, full credit to Dearden because, if you were to give out an award for the most improved player in the competition, he'd be one of the favourites to win it.
Yeah.
Nico Hines, we couldn't predict, you knew he was good last year, but we couldn't predict he'd be this good. The guy's going to finish in the top 3 for the Dally M's. Arguably the buy of the year. He had the backing of the coach who, 1, wanted him and 2, believed in him. And then you got, as you said, you got a guy like Matt Moylan who has, made the number 6 jersey his own, turned himself into, the 2018 Matt Moylan, going back to seeing the reasons why he's played for his state and country. And then Townsend, Chad Townsend didn't fit the way.
Wait, record this. You might say something nice, so just make sure we get this on.
Sorry.
Sorry, I can't wait. Go ahead.
Townsend, he didn't fit the way that Cronulla and the style of footy that we played, but he's gone up to Townsville and he fits you guys like a glove. He's that on-field leader, sets your forwards up. The one thing that Chad has never, ever failed with in his career is playing behind a forward pack that runs forward, and you guys are monsters. So, he's going to be able to throw the ball to Valentine Holmes. He's going to be able to throw the ball to Pitahiku, kick the ball to the fastest guy on the planet in Hammer. With a simple game plan that Chad can manage, he's been perfect for you guys. It's an astute pickup. You can't argue with it.
And Kate, going into Matt Moylan and Nico Hines, what's your opinion of Matt Moylan in 2022, based off of the past few years, man? I think Matt Moylan has had maybe the best season of his career, or at least since, as Terry said before, 2018.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really nice to see him find this sort of form again because it had gone missing for him. But they're obviously happy. When you're winning, it's sort of easier to be happy, I guess. But the Sharks squad, they're doing something very right this year, and he's obviously got a lot of confidence in his team as well. So I think a lot of times, problems with 5/8s or half combos can arise when they're trying to do too much and fill gaps all over the park. And when you only have to do your job and do it well and not think about anything else, then you're going to more than likely have success. And I think that's what they've been able to do at the Sharks. And I feel like the teams are so evenly matched. It's sort of like I was running through, both the team lists in my head earlier, and I just think it's just going to be hard to split them, really. I mean, you both got new halves combo. Like both teams have just popped up out of nowhere to be 2 and 3 this year, and had such great success so much earlier than anyone ever predicted. So, we're trying to sort of analyze how this game is going to go, but let's be honest, we weren't meant to be here. So it really is a toss of a coin as to who can win this. There's definitely a home ground advantage, but both teams should be damn proud to be in 2 and 3 and battling it out like this, because no one thought we'd be anywhere near it.
That's beautifully said, Kate. Hell yeah, dude. Now, Dan, so we've got a couple of stats here for you, right? So Nico Hines is first in line break assists, and Ronaldo Mulatalo has been the best line breaker has been the second best line breaker, I should say, in 2022. Chad Townsend is third for try assists, and Nico Hines is also third in runs, man. Based on that, you'd probably say Nico Hines by a meter is about a better player than Chad Townsend in 2022. Would you agree with that?
Yes,
Yes.
for the fact that you guys are my mates and I love you dearly. They're very, very different player. Nico's got a lot more style about him. When you don't notice Chad Townsend's his best, because trust me, by the end of his run, we were noticing him because he was the bloke that was missing the tackle. He was the bloke that was hitting the fullback on the chest over and over and over with his kicks. So when he's just doing his thing and you don't notice him, he's absolutely fantastic. So look, Nico is the perfect fit for our system. Chad's the perfect fit for your system. The better halfback, which is the better system, is
Yo, dude. And
as good as it's going to get, Kate. I swear.
Nice.
I can't do it. I tried. Watch, Chad he's okay. He's all right at football. I just can't do it. He's been a great buy for you guys. I maintain I would have driven him up there this time last year. I'm so happy he's doing well because he won a premiership. He and Matt Moylan played together in the 2018 prelim, which is, going under the radar, which, is a real shame. He was a big part of what went well at Cronulla because he was just doing his job because he had James Maloney and Matt Moylan beside him. As soon as you put someone like an unfit Matt Moylan or, Braden Trindle next to him or a disinterested Sean Johnson, Chad tried to do too much and became, borderline useless and was barely making Newtown. So to see him go up there and do well is, it's good because we joke a lot. We don't really dislike the guy. We just wish that he could count. Chad, if you're watching, 4 is more than 1.
Yo, now let's move away from the halves now and let's go into the centre battle. And I mentioned before that Jesse Bloody Ramian gave Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow a bath earlier this season. Now, this weekend is going to be very, very different. It's going to be Ramian versus Valentine Holmes, and that's a top 5 all-centre battle as well. I'm really looking forward to Valentine versus Ramian, Terry.
Yeah, look, I put my Dalium picks for the team of the year up on Twitter yesterday, and I did leave out Jeremiah Nanai, but you can't leave out Valentine Holmes. He's pushed Joey Manu this year all the way for the centre of the year, and he went into Origin, killed it. He's going to go and play for Australia, should play in the centres and absolutely kill it over there. He's going to towel up my Poms, no problem whatsoever. And then you talk about Jesse Ramian, who is the centre in the competition who's got the most untapped potential. If he ran out there and believed every game that he was the best centre on the park, you can't beat him. You go and have a look at the game against the Melbourne Storm. He scored a hat-trick against arguably one of the best centres in Justin Olam, went up to Townsville the following week, destroyed you guys, and then had a lull. And it's players like Valentine Holmes, it's players like Joey Manu that don't have the lull. So Ramian's going to have to be on it, both in attack and defence, but this is a mouth-watering contest.
Yeah, and the two gentlemen on outside of both of them, Murray Taulagi plays against the Sharks. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I'll probably just bring up the team list. Is it Connor Tracy?
It's Connor Tracy.
It is going to be Connor Tracy. So I think Connor Tracy is a fine young find. He is a fine young man. Up against Murray Taulagi. Kate, what's your opinion on this? Has Murray Taulagi been the same since State of Origin?
Oh, no, I don't think he has, to be honest with you. There has been, dip in form there. I've been pleased to see him. I think he scored tries in the last 2 weeks, which is good. He's another confidence player. So I'm not really sure why his confidence dips post Origin. I've got no idea, but that's what I feel sort of happened when he first came onto the scene for the Cowboys. I remember him on debut, and he, instead of running for the corner and doing those fantastic leaps and he does the most ridiculous put downs, he ran back in field, he cut back in and took the safe tackle. And I remember saying to my partner, the second he backs himself and runs that, I said, this kid is going to be freaking amazing. And I think it was game 2 or 3 that he made that his first try. And since then, from that moment, he was an absolute standout. You couldn't stop him scoring tries because he backed himself and he had the confidence. Look, what's happened post Origin, I'm not too sure, but his form hasn't been as good as what we saw in the lead up to Origin. But really great matchup. 2 great young players, who have had really good seasons. So again, that's what I'm saying. Like when I look at the team lineups, they're just so similar. The matchups are really, really good, and this is another one of them. So I'm hoping that Murray can find a little bit more form, or maybe it's just better service. I'm not sure what has actually been wrong. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I do think it is a bit of a dip in confidence from Murray Taulagi. He does look like he is attempting to break out over the past couple of weeks, man. So let's hope that in his finals debut, he absolutely breaks out. And just speaking of finals debuts, there's 9 of them for the North Queensland Cowboys, and there's probably 2 for the Cronulla Sharks. Such is the finals experience discrepancy between both of these sides. Now, on the same side with the centers and the wingers, you're going to have Leilua versus Britton Nakora. Dan, Britton Nakora, I like very much. I had him just about as the Dalian second rower of the year at the start of the year, and I don't think he's quite hit that form, but I still think he's had a very good season. What's your opinion on Nakora's season, then going up against Leilua this weekend, man?
Nakora's a week-to-week prospect. You never know which one you're going to get. If he turns up, he's interested, and he runs those lines. I mean, this past week he scored a hat. He could have had 4 or 5. He was running kamikaze lines, and he was getting hit, and he wasn't dropping the ball. He's getting up, playing the ball quick. So that's the Nakora you want to see. This is a guy who, you know, in his debut season had a rep jumper waiting for him outside Sean Johnson for the Kiwis. And with his talent, he should never have lost it. This time last year, he was lucky to make, you know, a 50-man Kiwi squad. So start of the year, we loved it. We thought it was because he wanted a contract. The real test came after he signed. Since then, I actually think he's improved. I think he's a player who's put pen to paper and really proven it as well. Terry and I are huge Teague Wilton fans. Those 2 are our future. You put them in for the next 10 years in the second row. I love that matchup. I think Nakora is a lot more clever than Leilua in terms of he's not as dumb as where I'm going with this. Leilua's a Leilua. That's all you need to say. He's got a brain close to him. Nakora and especially Ronaldo being there in close proximity. Ronaldo's an annoying bloke. I love him to death. He's one of my favourite players, but he's the sort of bloke that if he was playing for you, I'd be very upset. I'd want to chin him straight up. He's that kind of bloke. You get under Leilua's skin, he's going to go you, and Nakora will pick him apart. So that said, Leilua's killed us before. He was the halfback, I think, or the 5'8" down here for the Dragons, the real little brother, and tore us to shreds. So the bloke's got form against us. He's a superstar. If we keep him quiet, we'll do it. You got to back Nakora in on pure talent. But, you know, that's another one, like Kate's saying. So toss the coin. Who turns up in the mood on the knot?
Yep, and just on the other side as well, just quickly. So we're going to have Kyle Felt versus Mulatalo. We're going to have Talakai versus Peta Hiku. That's a really, really juicy matchup. Now, my concern is that, and Kate, I'll get your opinion on this. I think Kyle Felt defends way too inward, and he leaves way too much space out on his outside. And Mulatalo being the second best line breaker in 2022, that terrifies the hell out of me, Kate.
Yeah. See, there seems to be a lot of room sometimes on that Kyle Felt edge, I have to say. I have a feeling that is something that they will be addressing this week in training, because if that could be the side where we leak points. That needs to be tightened up. Absolutely, that side needs to be tightened up. And again, that was actually such a big improvement from last year because that edge leaked tries like a sieve. Peta Hiku coming in next to Felt really did fix that for a long time. I feel like in the last few weeks, we've gone away from that defensive work, particularly on that side of the field. And I'm absolutely certain that they have had a chat about this in training this week. But that is the side. That's the side.
Yeah,
Ronaldo.
Yeah. Ronaldo's got the same problem. Sometimes, Ronaldo's our left winger, and sometimes he's so far infield, he's defending on the right wing.
Yeah. Oh, what are you doing there? That's clearly not your. Your side. Have you gotten mixed up? What's happened? I sometimes feel like yes, but then I feel like sometimes is he following his player in? Like, is he following Peta in? Is that what he's doing? Is that what's happening? He's got to follow. He's following that. So, yeah. Anyway, look, we both have sides where tries can be leaked. So, but individually, again, like you look at those players and when they turn on the brilliance, it's so beautiful to watch. So you cut them a little bit of slack.
Kyle Feldt terrifies me every time that we play. He scored 7 tries in his last 5 games against us.
Wow!
Kyle Feldt scored the most tries in his career against the Sharks.
Yeah, wow.
There you go.
Yeah. There's another battle. Yep. Yeah, sorry, there's another battle as well. Please correct me, Daniel and/or Terry. Now, on inside of that, we've got Jeremiah Nanai, who I think we can all agree is Rookie of the Year. Dally M, is that fair to say?
Yeah, he was my Rookie of the Year.
Yeah,
very
absolutely. Good. Now, who's he coming up against? Wade Graham. So it's veteran versus rookie. That's going to be a great battle to see.
It just literally writes stories about itself, doesn't it? Jeez.
Yeah. It does. And then you've got Dale Finucane versus Jason Taumalolo this weekend. I think, you've got the halves battle, but I think the leadership that Finucane brings, Jason Taumalolo playing in his first final series since 2017, off of the back of his 6th Paul Bowman medal, I think this is the key, man. The post-contact meters, the Sharks need to stop on Jason Taumalolo. Dale Finucane, it's exactly the same. Dan, bro, Finucane versus Taumalolo, do you think this is the key matchup in this game?
If one of the players gets on top, now with all due respect to Finucane, Taumalolo is a far more destructive player. If I can take one of your blokes out and put him on the sideline for a week, no injuries, of course, just bench him.
Yeah,
it's Taumalolo. I still think Drinkwater was your best player this year by an absolute mile. But in the big games, Taumalolo is the one I want to stop. Finucane defensively and McInnes defensively are incredible. That's our big strength. So I don't fear Taumalolo. This time last year, he tears strips off us and has an absolute laugh. Even when you guys were terrible last year, our middle defense was disgusting. He would tear through us. So, look, if Dale can keep him to a 10-9 on the night, then that's a huge win for us. The other side, Wade Graham, I think, is a far more complete footballer than Nanai. But if the ball's in the air, Nanai's got springs on his legs and Wade jumps down. That terrifies me.
Yeah. Terry, do you share the same opinion? Like, that's a really good point, because I don't think Graham will spring as much as Jeremiah Nanai will, that's for sure.
Can't.
Not many can.
Yeah, look, just going on to the lock forward battle, you've got the most destructive lock forward in the game coming up against the best defensive lock forward in the game. So whoever, if Taumalolo gets on top, it's going to go a long way for you. And if Finucane slows him down, it's going to go a long way for us. The battle, though, Jeremiah Nanai against Wade Graham, as you said, the young bull against the old buck, who's going to win? Wade Graham's got campaigns upon campaigns of finals experience. We've seen him be completely out of form at the back end of 2016 and go down to Canberra and get himself knocked out, only to come back against you guys in week 3 and be the best player on the park. So we're starting to see some vintage Wade Graham in the last couple of weeks. He had a couple of drop balls on the weekend, but he still made 104 meters. He still completed all his tackles bar one. Halfway through this year and maybe towards the beginning of the year, we're going, is there really a spot for Wade Graham? Should he hang the boots up? And now it's like, well, if he re-signs for another year and he can continue what he's doing at the club, nurturing the young players through, he's not clogging up 80 minutes. We're getting Teague Wilton out there. Teague's learning more from him every week. It's one hell of a battle. And then, as you said, to the left of that, you've got Hiku up against Talakai, just 2 balls of destruction that want to run at each other. Last time we played you guys, Peter Hiku ran for 285 meters. It's just going to be an absolutely insane game. I can't pick it. And then, we haven't even talked about the dummy halves yet.
No, you're exactly right, man. Kate, do you want to take the reins on this one? Because you said before, I think, that Robson should have been the player of the season for the Cowboys, and it's really hard to argue. Robson's been absolutely amazing, and he has cracked 1,000 tackles in season 2022.
Yeah, he is. He's one I would chuck money at. He's a big reason as to why we're third this year. Absolutely. He is. I know people are circling for his signature on a contract, and it's very easy to see why. You know, every single week he's like, in terms of like, you know, what he brings to the team, it's like a Reuben Cotter. Like if there was a brick wall there and you said run through it, the bloke could run straight through it and he wouldn't stop, you know, like he just brings so much. And the speed through the middle at dummy half, he beat so many people with speed. I mean, the little Panther Cubs the other week didn't even know he had taken off from dummy half when he made his run. He is just incredibly quick. And for them, I think that the speed of the game, as you know, and they were tiring as the game was going on, was built for someone like Reece Robson. So, you know, I think our fitness has helped us a hell of a lot this year. And, you know, if this game is as intense and as physical as what we assume it is going to be, our fitness might be what gets us over the line, because I think we are superior in that in fitness this year. So someone like Reece Robson could absolutely explode through the middle with 20 to go.
Yeah, I think Blake Brayley's start to 2022 was scything. I think he was exceptional for the first 8 weeks. I think maybe he's been a little bit quieter, but still quite good. Is that a fair assessment, Dan, or do you disagree? Do you think he's been better in the back half than the first half? What's your assessment on Brayley, bro?
Again, Brayley's another week to week. I mean, overall, I think he's had a fantastic season. Started on fire, and I was given, because Terry gets into young Brails quite a bit, I was giving him no end. And then a few games in the middle, I had to, you know, mute his chat because he was getting his receipts back. So, look, if Brayley plays well this weekend, you know, Cronulla are a much better side with him running the ball. Last year, we didn't see anything of this from Brayley because we had a halfback who was overcalling him every time. He's got the, you know, the ability to say no and go now. I mean, close to the line, Brayley's a lot more dangerous than your bloke. But that, you know, Blinky's gone, Reece Robson. You know, Brayley's got that too, but his running game's really gone backwards the last few weeks, but his kicking game, his defense is really lifted. So I think his effort's going in there. If he makes 50 tackles and doesn't miss any, that's all I need. You know, as long as he's not throwing disgusting service. If he gets the ball to Nico and Moisa all night, sweet. That'll absolutely do. You know, we don't need him to be man of the match like I think perhaps you guys do with Robson. So, yeah, you know, there's been a dip. The last few weeks have been much improved. So hopefully he just took a bit of a break during the mid-season.
Yeah, and just Terry, man, just to help me just make sense of this as well. So Cronulla are first in the competition for decoy runs. Cowboys are fourth. Nico Hines engages the line. I think he's in the top 5 for that statistic as well. So Cowboys need to swarm on Hines, but try and keep an open mind about him flinging it over the top of us because he is one of the best line break assisters in the competition as well. But if you swarm on him, they're the 4th best offloading team in the competition, the Sharkies. And if they pop off an offload and get it out to either edge, and we've condensed our line that much, Sharkies are going to score 24 points on us this weekend. Is that a fair assessment, Terry?
Yeah, look, the decoys, and that comes from young Blake because he loves to pick the ball up, take 2 steps off, and have a prop go. And you'll see, you know, when we're on your line, he'll run 1 or 2 crash plays, and then he gets his decoys in there. So it's a very systematic game plan that we have when we're attacking. One of the things with Nico Hines, as you said, he engages the line more than anyone else in the competition. Second in line break assist. The guy has just got so much time. And, you know, if you rush up on him, he's going to beat you with a kick or he's going to beat you with a pass. And if you don't, you know, if you stand back, well, he's just going to beat you with brilliance. So it's just amazing to see the season that he's had at the moment. And our edge, we score a lot of tries out wide. At the beginning of the year, I think Nico had kicked 3 goals from 30 attempts at Shark Park. But all of our tries have been scored on the wing and in the centres and in horrendous Shark Park condition. By the way, check the weather because you ain't going to enjoy it this weekend. You're going to get a monsoon.
But no, really.
But but young Hines, like, it's the same as Dearden. He runs across field, and if you don't rush up on him, he's got a lot of opportunities. And if you rush him, he'll beat you with speed. So it's just a battle. It's just going to be an absolute battle.
Well, this is the thing too. So if it's going to be monsoon or wet weather conditions, man, Sharkies, I mean, they use the ball a hell of a lot. So that's why there's a lot of errors in their game. They're the worst in the competition for completing their sets, Cronulla. And if it's going to be wet weather footy, could fall nicely in the lap for the Cowboys, man, who, while they haven't been perfect over the past 6 weeks, they are one of the top 5 best set completers in the competition. So that could work well. But I think that the reason why they're up the top there is Sharks use the ball, man. It's not a negative. You look at the Tigers, who are in the top 5 for best completed sets. They do fuck all with the ball, excuse my language. But that's, you just got to use the footy.
They complete their sets, and that's important.
Yeah. Now let's get. So we've also got the front row battle. But I think there's something coming with Drinkwater and Ruben Cotter this weekend, man. I think Drinkwater and Cotter are they're gonna have a game plan. Even if Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow comes off the bench as well to be a 3-piece with it, I think Cotter is going to be amazing this weekend. I cannot wait to see how he goes. Let's get into the final tips now, because I don't want to keep you guys here for too much longer. But let's get into the tips, starting with you, Terry, man. Who's going to win this contest? What's the scoreline going to be? And do you have an anytime try scorer, man?
Yeah, look, I think I'm going to go with Cronulla to win this game. Scoreline around about 22 points to 12. Anytime try scorer. Look, I'll go one from each team. I'm going to back both the wingers against each other. When Kyle Felt scores, Ronaldo usually retaliates. So that's my tip.
Yo, and Dan, your tip?
Sharks 18-10 for mine. I think, you mentioned Cronulla, we got a disgusting completion rate. 2 of our best performances. We beat Manly by 40 in the pouring rain in that first half. It stopped raining in the second half. We stopped scoring tries, and we went down and belted the Dragons in even worse weather. So, mate, totally selfishly, I hope it pisses down for 80 minutes. That makes us far more dangerous, especially Nico's kicking game, because with the greatest respect to your halfback, he can't kick like Nico Hines can. Not many can. I think Cronulla, it's real early. I think it's low scoring. I think Cronulla might score late to make it more than a point, more than a try. Look, Ronaldo and Felt are just, it could be 40 all because neither of them can defend, but both of them can score tries. So I'm going to go on the other wing and pick Terry's second favourite player, Connor Tracy, in the corner.
Yo, okay. Kate, what's your tip? Anytime try scorer and final score?
Well, obviously the Cowboys will win. But I thought 24-12. I would like it. I'd like it to be like 50-12, just so I could actually enjoy a game. That would be fantastic, because very rarely do you get to enjoy a game when you're a Cowboys supporter. It always seems to go down to the wire. And anytime try scorer. Yeah, look, I think just based on the fact that Felty likes to score against the Sharks, we might see Felty grab a try. And look, Ronaldo can score one, because I actually think he's a really top bloke. He can have one. That's all he can have, just one. I think he's such a nice kid. I've listened to a few interviews with him, and he just comes across as a really, really nice bloke. And so all right, I'll give him one. All right, fine.
No, look, he is a nice bloke, but who gives a bugger if he's a good bloke this weekend? This is a huge result riding on this. The loser of this game goes up against Roosters and Rabbits the week after. If they get by the Roosters Rabbits, hallelujah, you get a trip to freaking Accor Stadium against the Penrith Panthers. This is such a crucial victory for one of these sides. The Cowboys are going to get the victory. They're going to go 3 wins in finals against the Sharks to the 2 victories to the Sharkies. I think this is, outside of the Brisbane Broncos, Cowboys' biggest rivals in the NRL based off of the history. Dan and Terry spoke about this before with me earlier on in the season. Kate, do you think Cowboys and Sharks is a top 3 rival for the North Queensland club?
Absolutely. Oh my God. Every time we play the Sharks, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed at Bo Ryan, even just watching him on the bloody Amazing Race. I can tell you right now, every time 7 try 7-tackle try. That annoys me still to this day.
I still have PTSD. Yep.
Honestly, I
60
see something
minutes.
amazing.
60
And I'm
minutes to make up for it.
No.
Yeah, no. I see him on The Amazing Race. I'm like, oh, Bo. God,
We
you
think
annoy
that too. Bo Ryan's not real popular down here either.
No, look, it's a great rivalry, and you know, and I think these two teams are going to be battling it out for another good few years to come. Like these are like both of these teams, as we've said over and over tonight, weren't meant to do anything super spectacular this year. So another preseason under both teams' belts, I think, you know, we can lock in some great competitions and rivalry for the next handful of years. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Terry, what's the recent record with us and our rivals, the Cowboys?
What's that?
How's the recent record against our rivals, the Cowboys?
We've won the last 8.
Yeah.
Thank you. I forgot. Google's broken. So.
That one flew by me. Oh. So I'm gonna tip the Cowboys. You bugger. I'm gonna tip the Cowboys 16 points to 14. I'm gonna go Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow. I'm gonna trust the game plan that is in place that we haven't seen all season long. He's going to come off at the bench and be explosive. For Cronulla try scorer, I'll go for Britton Nakora. Actually, I'll go Britton Nakora on Leilua. I think Leilua still has a bit of West Tigers defense in him. It's only been a couple of months, so Leilua could be susceptible to letting a try in on his end. But either way, I think of all the games this weekend, this has the most potential to go to Golden Point extra time as well, man. And that would just go hand in hand with the history between these two clubs. They're usually insane contests. They're really exciting games. I cannot wait. So, ladies and gentlemen, people in the chat, thank you so much for joining me. I've loved every second of this conversation. Dan, Terry, Kate, thank you so much. Links are in the description box below. Kate, do you have anything coming up on your channel? Is there anything coming up in the future that you want to promote?
Oh, no, not in particular. Some fun Netty stuff is coming up. Netball's coming up again in October, so the Netty Life podcast will be back then. And Rugby League Outlaws, these two lovely blokes let me come on and talk Cowboys every week, which is literally the highlight of my week. Thanks, guys. I love it. So we'll see what happens after we beat them, whether they'll let me on again. But so far, so good.
I think they will. Dan, Terry, is there anything coming up that you'd like to promote?
Yeah, look, Rugby League Outlaws will be running through the off-season because we have been gifted with a World Cup this year. So the show will continue, which means, you know, we'll still have the lovely Kate on there as well. For myself personally, it's the off-season. I'm a massive basketball fan, so there's a new NBL podcast coming out. Me and a couple of mates are going to try and get into it. We've already got one Australian legend lined up for show 1, so keep that in tune. Fins Up podcast is going 8:30 tonight. So we're going to be pretty busy. We'll be in your ears and on your eyes every week through the off season.
Dan,
look, as Terry said, get on Rugby League Outlaws. The gang's all here. What can I say? Benny G's not here, but even if we sent him a link, he wouldn't have remembered anyway. So, look, we got a big announcement coming up. We're hosting our Rugby League Outlaws end of season awards night coming up. We're going to attempt to go live. We're getting a little bit of negativity from our producer because he doesn't believe we can do it. He's probably right there. But, yeah, we got hopefully a special guest locked in. We've got awards out the yin yang. It should be really, really fun, and it is very serious stuff. There will be no jokes. There will be no Tigers bagging. It will be serious, serious stuff.
Well, if your producer's watching this, I'm sure he can already tell by now, but your audio and your visuals have come in crystal clear the entire hour. And just for me as well, NFL season starts this weekend. I'll be wobbling my jaw about that. The World Cup, obviously, as well. And then the season will be back for 2023. But look, hope it's a really good game. No bullshit for the bunker. That would absolutely destroy us if there's any drama like that. So cross the oh, you bloody bastard. Let's get out of here. Enjoy the night, everyone. Have a great weekend. Talk to you later. Adios.
Thanks, guys.